Let's solve some questions on the polygons. And the polygons, we have an easy questions and a difficult one. For question number 1, in the opposite figure, sum of the interior angle of the shape. What is the number of the sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sides. 6 sides, so the sum is 720. If I wanted to find the measure of each angle, 720 divided by 6 is equal to 120 degrees. If I wanted to find the measure of the exterior angle, I make 360 divided by 6 is equal to 60 degrees. So I figured out for you the interior, I figured out for you exterior in case of it's a regular polygon. Number 2, the measure of the interior angle of a regular polygon is 135, and I wanted to find the number of the sides. If you copied the number in your mind, you are more than welcome. But if you wanted to find the number of the sides is equal to 360 divided by the exterior angle. Now, how I figure out the exterior? This one is the interior angle. The exterior angle is 180 minus 135, which is equal to 45 degrees. So 360 divided by 45, which is equal to 8 sides. And if you know that the measure of the interior angle of a shape of 8 sides is equal to 135, you can pick your answer directly. But here is the rule, how we can find the number of sides by giving the interior angle. Question number 3. In the opposite figure, the ratio between the measure of the angles. And my advice to you, if you have the word ratio in any of the questions, if you have the word ratio in any of the questions, that you change the ratio into values. You change the ratio into values. So for example, 6x, 5x, 4x, 3x. If you have a ratio, change the ratio the ratio into values by adding m or x a letter. So what is the sum of this interior angle? The sum of this interior angle, 6x, 5x, 4x, 3x is up to 360. So 7 and 11 is 18x is equal to 360. So divided both by 18. So x is equal 20. He is asking for the greatest angle, and he may ask for the smallest angle. So I figure out the value of x, and the greatest angle is 6x. So 6 multiplied 20 is 120 degrees. 120 degrees. Question number 4. Sum of the exterior angle of a polygon with number of sides 7. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's 8, doesn't matter if it's 10, it doesn't matter if it's 3. Why? Because the sum of the exterior angle of any shape is equal to 360 degrees. Sum of the exterior angle 360 is equal to sum of interior angle of a polygon with how many sides? It was 4 sides. Because the sum of the 3 sides is 180, 5 sides is 540, and 7 sides is 900. Let's go to the diagram. Parallelogram. If you don't know the properties of the parallelogram, you need to go back and study what are the properties of the parallelogram. The parallelogram have actually from 4 to 5 properties you should be aware about. So if I draw for you a parallelogram, each opposite side this not looks like parallelogram. Each opposite side are parallel. So each opposite side are parallel. Each opposite side are equal. Opposite angles are equal. Diagonals bisect each other. And what does it mean bisect each other? It means that this side equal that side, and this one is equal that one. But they are not congruent. They are not equal in length. So here I can say that x minus 5 is equal to 8. Why? Again, because one of the properties of the parallelogram that diagonals bisects each other. So x is equal to 13. Why 13? Because I add 5 to both terms. The value of x in the opposite figure, and the opposite figure is parallelogram. And one of the properties of the parallelogram that the opposite angles are equal. Opposite angles are equal. So 3x is equal to 120. So x is equal to 40 degrees. X is equal to 40 degrees. Answer is B. Question number 7. The opposite figure is a rectangle. Of course, the opposite sides are equal. In the rectangle, opposite sides are equal. And in the rectangle, each angle is equal to 90. And diagonals are congruent. Diagonals are congruent. So y squared plus 1 is equal to 26. So y squared is equal to 25. So y is supposed to equal positive and negative root of 25. So it's positive and negative 5. Of course, I'm not going to choose the negative because it's length. I'm going to choose the positive 5. Number 8. Which of the following is true? All parallelogram is a square. You can go forward, but you cannot go backward. What does it mean, Mr. Shah? The first shape is parallelogram, then the rhombus, the rectangle, and then finally the square. The properties is going from up, down. Parallelogram, then rectangle, then rhombus, then square. So I can say that all rectangle are parallelogram. I can say that all rhombus are parallelogram. I can say that all squares are parallelogram, but I can say the opposite. I can say that all parallelogram are rectangle. So I can say that all rectangle are parallelogram. All rectangle are parallelogram. All rectangle is a parallelogram. It's supposed to be R. Question number 9. The given figure is a rhombus. What do you know about the rhombus? What do you know about the rhombus? Rhombus is a quadrilateral. And what the difference between the rhombus and the square? In the square, each angle is equal to 90, and the 4 sides are equal. In the rhombus, all sides are equal, but not each angle is equal to 90. In the rhombus, diagonals are perpendicular, and also in the square. In the rhombus, diagonal bisect the vertex angle. So I can say that 2x minus 1 is equal x plus 2. Without the properties of the rhombus, you can't solve the question. So by moving x there, moving 1 there, so 2x minus x, which is equal to x, and 2 plus 1, so x is equal to 3. Again, properties of the rhombus that different than the rectangle, that diagonals are perpendicular, all sides are equal. But in the square, each angle is 90. In the rhombus, each angle is not equal to 90 degrees. In the opposite rhombus, and we said a few minutes ago that in rhombus, diagonals are perpendicular. And this small angle that I can see is equal to 3x. So 3x is equal to 90. So x is equal to 30 degrees. Diagonals are perpendicular. Diagonals are perpendicular in rhombus. Diagonals are orthogonal. Mr. Hisham, what does it mean orthogonal? Orthogonal is an Latin word, an old word for the perpendicular. So orthogonal or perpendicular in the rhombus and square. Rhombus and square. Diagonals are perpendicular in these two shapes or two quadrilaterals. In the opposite figure, this is a rectangle, and we said that diagonals are equal in rectangle. Diagonals are equal or congruent in the rectangle. So AC is equal to BD. In case of AE is equal to 6. So AC is equal to 12 because all of them are the same. So what the length of BD? BD is equal to 12. So diagonals are congruent but not perpendicular into the rectangle. Final question about the polygons is the trapezoid. What is the trapezium or the trapezoid? Trapezoid in the American, trapezium in the Nigerian. Trapezium is a shape in which two sides are parallel. That's it. It's a shape in which one pair of opposite sides are parallel. But isosceles trapezium or isosceles trapezoid, it's a shape in which the two sides are parallel, called bases, and the two sides or the two legs are congruent. So if these two sides are congruent, this is called isosceles trapezoid. You need to know two things about the isosceles trapezoid: that base angles are equal. Base angles are equal. Two things. Number one, base angles are congruent. Number two, diagonals are congruent. So 60, 60. And these two sides are parallel. So the sum of x and 60 is up to 180. So x is equal to 120 degrees. X is equal to 120 degrees. So let's revise for you something that about the polygon. You need to know the name of the polygon. You need to know the properties of the parallelogram, rectangle, square, rhombus, and trapezium. You need to know the sum of the interior angle of the polygons. You need to know the measure of each interior angle of hexagon, pentagon, triangle, and square. Sum of the exterior angle. Sum of the exterior angle.